Hello. Hello. Check it out. We got these mitts over here. I want to talk about God and the universe using mitts and coins. Now, I could do this like elaborate thing where I turn on the light. See, there's better lighting, and I could construct something. You know, spend time doing stuff and make it like a better analogy than I'm going to make it, but that would require time, effort, and technology. And I don't want to use those things at this juncture. So we're going to make a very simple, basic, diagrammatical thing, analogical thing here. Okay. So anyway, let's say let's say this is like part of the universe right here, right? This particular mitt right here. Put that right in the center of the screen. This is part of the universe right here. And all this, these are people in the universe. And God is like somewhere, I don't know, he's like somewhere, you know? And so we have these people in here and they're milling about, they're doing their stuff. And all these people in here, they want more than what they have. But what they don't know is that there are limits placed on the things they want. Okay? There are limits. So they can't leave. Damn it, this analogy sucks. It's not, these were not supposed to leave. It wasn't supposed to happen. Let's say this is completely closed. You get the idea. You have an imagination too, I presume. I know you do. You have an imagination. Oh, this is so hard when it's not well done. So you can't leave, right? Let's say you can't leave this thing. But people want to leave. And they are bound by constraints. What are those constraints? I don't really know. Let's not name, label, categorize, or define the constraints at this juncture. So they can't leave. But they want to leave. They want more. And what they don't know is that they have everything they require to get the more that they desire within the framework that they currently exist. Let's say this is closed, right, by the other myth. They have everything that they require to get the more that they want, to eclipse out of their current framework into a wider, greater, grander framework, happier, perhaps, framework. They have what they require in here to advance into a wider, greater, grander, happier framework. But they don't know that they have what they require in this arena. They don't know that. So they decide that they don't have what they require. They have the means to discover what they require to get the more. They have the means. They do have the means. But they disagree with the terms of the means as they are established, as they are created. And there's nothing that they can do to change their circumstances, to just separate themselves from the current boundaries that they experience. There's nothing that they can do to change the rules, to change the laws, to change the framework that they currently inhabit, except for using the means they currently have. The means that are inside of them. And again, I do not want to define those means. I just want to draw a simple picture here. I want to try to give you one idea. I know this is taking a long time, but let's see if we can get closer to the heart of what I want to say. They have the means that they require inside of here to leave the cage that they're in. And they don't want to use those means. They disagree with it. They rebel against it. They're not happy with it. They feel constricted by the possible means they currently have. So there's a method to leave here. There's a growth in consciousness that can occur that would allow someone to get out of their current circumstance into a greater, happier, grander circumstance. And while they may have access to the knowledge that they require to take that path to leave their current cage, they do not want to employ that knowledge. So the interesting thing that people do, that these inhabitants do, is they choose to rebel against the framework, and they rub against the edge without ever penetrating the edge. They just rub against it. You know, they try to move against the side of the boundary, and they push the boundary as much as they can. But it requires a massive amount of effort. And in the effort that they exude in trying to push the boundary, they tire themselves out and they get exhausted. And insanely, they continue to push against the boundary. And what they might even do is, in their fervor, they employ the abilities, the intellects, and the energy of those of their compatriots to try and rub up against the boundaries of their cage, you might say, their current framework. And they tire themselves out. They get anxious, they get frustrated, they get upset, and they I shouldn't laugh at this, but from the outside looking in, it's a little bit funny. Like, all the effort that is used, let's do what we can to push against this boundary. I know if we just employ a little bit more energy, we can do it. We can push against the boundary. Maybe, perhaps, maybe. Believe in me. And then one of them dies and expires and goes to the nether regions. And then everyone's like, what happened to that dude? Oh well, let's continue to push against the bounds of our cage here. And that's what we're doing. Instead of using the means that we have to exit our current framework, we just use all of our energy trying to push against these boundaries. And I'm talking about like trying to solve death, trying to solve illness without actually addressing, the real problem. We want to solve the effect. We don't want to solve the actual problem. What I find interesting is that we keep on trying to solve the problem. We keep on using our energy, our resources to try to push against the boundaries that are already in place that can be penetrated if we use the means that are available to us. But we're in such rebellion to those basic means, we can never penetrate this boundary. It's in place. It's you can't argue with it. You can't unmake it. Like, we are in this. That's what we don't really get. Like, it's finite. We don't know if there's a boundlessness beyond it. We don't know if there's, boundaries that can be traversed beyond the current boundary that we're in. The terms, and another thing we do is we completely ignore that we have the boundary. which is just complete abject denial. That's another thing that we use. There is no boundary, we say, but there is. We are uh, limited in all sorts of ways. We're aware of people that are less limited, less inhibited. And so there is like a degree of difference between, you know, there's one dude over here has less inhibitions, one dude over here has more inhibitions. So we can see and qualify a difference. But I don't know. I get myself into this like intellectual miasma and I can't answer certain questions. Maybe if I just made this like a 2-minute video, then it would be better explained. But I feel like it's too intellectual and yeah, well.